Hi everyone, welcome to Flow and Restore Yoga. My name is Michelle Chua. Grab your pillows, your 2 yoga blocks, your strap, your blanket, and anything else that you may need for your comfort, as the first half of our class is Vinyasa Flow and the second half is Yin and Restorative. Here's another excerpt as you're getting situated from the Yoga Almanac entitled Innovation. Expanding boundaries with new ideas. There's much debate about certain styles of yoga that speak to the modern age. There's nude yoga, yoga raves, cannabis yoga, yoga with animals, yoga with beer or wine, even death metal yoga. Haven't heard of that one. When we picture the great masters in sepia tones and diaper-like shorts, the advent of some of today's practices may seem jarring, even profane. Yet, innovation has been a crucial part of adapting this practice to an ever-changing world. BKS Iyengar, considered a contemporary master, was a pioneer of innovation. His introduction of props, for example, was met with resistance in some lineages. Many Ashtanga studios still refuse to use props. For Iyengar, the use of props allowed the mind to find deeper stillness because the body was not stressed but supported, a quality described by Patanjali in Sutra Book 133 as Chitta Prasadanam, serene, ordinary consciousness, even in the face of perturbation. Innovation in practice can also mean the reconsideration of long-held truths. There are only 15 poses described in the 15th century Hatha Yoga Pradipika, while Iyengar's seminal Light on Yoga includes more than 200. The Ashtanga tradition was developed by Tirumulai Krishnamacharya for young boys as a way for them to expel excess energy. Indra Devi, nee Eugene Peterson in Russia, was the first woman allowed to be taught by Krishnamacharya. She opened her own school in China and then the United States. Indra's style was significantly different than what Krishnamacharya taught. Dao Portion Lynch was the world's oldest yoga teacher at 100 years old, practiced yoga with young boys in India where she grew up, despite that it was forbidden for girls to participate. We will never come to know what we don't know without channeling the spirit of innovation. By challenging our beliefs and being open to perspectives outside of our own. The postures and sequences we explore are vehicles for expanding our boundaries and adapting accordingly. As we continue to integrate ancient teachings into modern life, being innovative with our practice is what makes yoga accessible to other communities. But intention matters. Innovations must still ladder to the main objective of yoga, which is to release the mind from the influence of external circumstances, a state Patanjali called pratyahara, the 5th limb of yoga. Otherwise, it's just exercise. Iyengar writes that the practice of asanas without the backing of yama, first limb of yoga, and niyama, second limb of yoga, is mere acrobatics. So innovation is our theme, and it'll bring us into our guided meditation in the end for 10 minutes. But as you think of that word, innovation, how does it apply to you and in your life right now? Or perhaps, if not innovation, how about the idea of expanding your mental boundaries regarding anything? Is there anything that you're looking to create right now? Is there a project? Is there something that you're trying that's new, that requires a stretching of the mind? So perhaps use that to inspire your intention as you bring your hands together at your heart. Sit up tall, relax the body. Take a few deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. A little slower, in through the nose. Out through the mouth. Once more, even slower. without straining your body. So clarifying your heart-rooted intention, your sankalpa. And then is there someone that you know and care about that could also use some expansion of mental boundaries or some inspiration for innovation and creativity? Perhaps dedicate this practice to them as well. And tuning in to your own inner guidance, creating resonance within, sending resonance without around us. As we share our practice together, let's join our voices, chanting 3 ohms. Take a deep breath. Let's start to deepen the breath with the mouth closed, practicing Ujjayi Pranayama, creating that inner furnace to stoke our inner fire for action. And as you softly whisper your breath through your nose, anchoring your mind in the here and now through a steady sound. And with that, start to make your way into downward facing dog, please. Placing your hands flat on the ground at the top of your mat and lifting your hips up and back. Take a moment to arrive in your downward dog, however that means for you. Being still or slowly pedaling your feet, maybe shaking and nodding your head a few times. Continuing to balance the sound of your breathing in and out, sustained. As you root down through finger spread, bring the inner edges of your feet together, legs together. And with your next inhale, drop your chin towards your chest and hollow your belly, rounding forward like a big cat pose. And then flattening out the back into plank pose, stacking your shoulders right over your wrists. Look at the floor just ahead of your hands. Keep the breath steady, eyes steady but relaxed. Firm back through your inner heels and activate the front muscles of your thighs. Lift your lower belly towards your back and spread your shoulders apart, shoulder blades apart. And then lengthen through the back of your neck. Begin to flex your right foot and lift it just 2 inches off the ground, hugging your outer hips towards your midline, keeping them balanced in height. Optional to start to lift your left arm forward too, like you're about to shake someone's hand in front of you until your tricep aligns with your left ear, drawing both shoulders down your back. Deep breaths. Keep drawing your navel up towards your spine. Set your left hand down if it's lifted. Set your right foot to kiss the left. Back to plank, breathe in. Breathe out, begin to flex the left foot 2 inches off the floor as you hug your outer hips towards your midline. Optional to explore raising your right arm forward too. Upper arm alongside your ear. Keeping the breath steady, the eyes steady, shoulder blades down the back. Lifting the navel. Lengthen through the center line of your body. Place your right hand down if it was lifted. Set your left foot next to the right, and then set your knees on the floor, hips width apart. Spin your hands to turn out, whatever degree to stretch your inner wrists. Entering Betalasana, cat-cow, breathe in. Glide your chest forward, then up. Breathe out, contract your belly to round your back. Take another 4 more cycles at your pace. Spinning your index fingers to face forward again, tuck your toes and walk up to the front of your mat to stand in a forward fold. Feet at least hips width apart and parallel. There, bend your knees generously and reach your hands behind your lower back, clasping your hands or holding a strap between them. As you shift your weight far forward to where you can still balance, pull in the belly again and inhale, lift the crown of your head, stretch it towards your front wall into a flat back. Then exhale, bow over your legs, and for a few breaths, keep stretching your arms away from your lower back, opening the fronts of your shoulders. Find ease in your jaw, neck, and breath. With your feet hips width apart and parallel, let's begin a non-traditional version of sun salutations. Release your hands and let your fingertips graze the floor as you bend your knees into chair pose with the feet apart. Sweeping the arms overhead, take a deep inhale here. Then exhale, interlace your fingers, flip your palms inside out, and rise up into mountain pose. Inhale, stand a little taller in mountain pose. Keep dropping the shoulders. Exhale, side bend to your right. Hug your front ribs in. Inhale, rise to center. Exhale, side bend to your left. Inhale, rise to center. Bend your elbows apart like a cactus shape. And exhale, coil your chest up, peeling the shoulder bones back, but drawing the tailbone towards your inner heels. Inhale, raise your arms overhead. Watch your palms touch in prayer. Bending your knees, exhale, bow over your legs. Press the ground or your shins. Inhale, stretch the top of your head forward. Exhale, step the left foot back to a high lunge. Inhale, rise up into crescent lunge, reaching your arms overhead. Backstroke your arms and exhale from plank pose. Lower forward through chaturanga to the ground. Inhale, ground your toenails. Reach your arms apart like a cactus again and coil your chest, hands free. A variation of locust pose. Exhale, plant your hands beside your floating ribs, tuck your toes, and lift your pelvis to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg up high. Exhale, bend your left knee and rotate the thigh open. Stay here. Inhale, tack your right hip back. Exhale, bend your left knee towards your nose, rounding your back. Step the left foot beside your left thumb. Come into a high lunge. Then inhale, raise your arms into crescent pose. Backstroke your arms. Exhale, plant your fingertips at the front of your mat and step the right foot forward to bow. Feet hips width apart. Inhale, bend your knees. Sweep your arms up in chair again. Interlace the fingers, palms inside out. Exhale, rise up to mountain pose. Stand a little taller. Inhale in mountain. To your left side, exhale, side bend. Inhale, rise up again to mountain. To your right, exhale, side bend. Inhale, mountain. Bend the elbows like a cactus. Exhale, coil your chest up. Draw your tailbone towards your inner heels. Inhale, arms overhead, palms meet. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold over your legs, side two. Press your legs to the floor. Inhale, lift your crown forward. Exhale, step the ball of your right foot back to a high lunge. Inhale, lift the arms, come into crescent lunge. Backstroke your arms, exhale from plank, down chaturanga, all the way to the ground. This time, clasp your hands behind your lower back, keep your feet on the ground. Inhale, coil your chest off the floor, bound locust pose. Press your hands onto the ground, exhale from plank pose to downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Exhale, bend your right knee and turn out the thigh. Stay here as you inhale to tack your left hip back. Exhale, bend the right knee towards your nose, rounding into plank, step the right foot beside your right thumb, high lunge. Inhale, rise up into crescent pose. Backstroke your arms. Exhale the hands to the top of your mat, step the left foot forward and fold. Feet hips width apart, inhale, bend your knees, chair pose. Interlace your fingers one more time, palms face up, exhale, rise. Inhale, stand tall in mountain pose. To your right again, exhale, side bend. Inhale up to center, to your left, exhale, side bend. Inhale to center, bend your elbows apart like a cactus shape. Exhale, roll the shoulders back and down, lift your heart and gaze. Inhale, raise your arms, palms touch, Urdhva Hastasana. Let's move into Surya Namaskar A. Exhale, forward folds. Press the ground of your legs. Inhale, lift your crown forward. This time, step to plank or float lightly into Chaturanga, entering Cobra or upward facing dog. Breathe in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pause for 3 deep breaths. Going for 2 more cycles of sun salutation A, just like this. Start to move to your own breath pace. End this exhale, then walk or float to the front of your mat. Inhale, lift your crown forward. Exhale, bow in. Root down to your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Palms touch, look up. Exhale, trace your hands in prayer down your main energy centers from crown to root. 2 more. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, dive in. Inhale, expand your heart forward. Walk or float to lower to Chaturanga. Inhale, coil your chest up. Exhale, lift by drawing the navel in to downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. After your 3rd exhalation, walk or float to the front of your mat. Inhale, raise your heart forward. Exhale, bow in towards yourself. Rooting to your soles, inhale, expand and rise tall. Palms meet in salutation. Exhale, saluting your energy centers from crown to root. Surya Namaskar A, inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, arms up. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Walk or softly jump to Chaturanga, Dandasana. Inhale, Bhujangasana, Cobra, or Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward dog. Exhale back to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog, 3 breaths. So we'll meet in downward dog this time. Spread your fingers, wrap your triceps towards the floor, and soften the back of your neck. This time, turn out your right thigh at the hip, just where it is, coming onto the ball of your right foot, like you're about to come into tree pose. And then step that right foot on the right edge of your mat, midway forward towards your hands. Midway up the mat, onto the right edge, pivot the right foot to face the right wall. And start to shift forward as if entering plank pose, stacking your left shoulder above your left wrist. Flex your left foot and begin to lean on the entire left outer edge of that foot. Press the ground away with the sole of your right foot, your outer left foot, and your left palm, and begin to reach your right arm up towards the stars. Breathe. Now from here, this variation of Vashisthasana, side plank, start to lean on the outer edge of your right foot flex, just like the left foot, as you sink the left hip to touch the ground. The right arm points back at the rear wall. Press down with your 3 limbs touching the ground. Inhale, lift the left hip and sweep your right arm towards the front wall. Exhale, sink again, point at the rear wall. Inhale, root down, rise up powerfully, sweep the right arm overhead. Exhale, touch down and look back. More rounds, inhale up and over. Exhale, down and back. Plugging the left shoulder in its socket, inhale up and over. Exhale, down and back. Yes, and from here, place your right hand at the top of your mat. Step back to downward facing dog. Take 3 deep breaths. Relax your neck. Draw the shoulder blades onto your back ribs. Now in downward facing dog, turn out your left thigh at the hip, pivoting onto the ball of the left foot. Take a look at the left edge of your mat. Midway up your mat towards your hands, step your left foot there. Pivot the left foot to face the left wall, stamping the sole on the ground. Shift your torso forward and stack your shoulders over your wrists like plank. Now flex your right foot and roll onto the outer edge of your right foot, the entire outer edge. Press down with your right palm, right outer foot, and left sole, and raise your left arm, lifting the right hip far away from the ground. Vashisthasana, side plank. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, roll onto the outer edge of your left foot flex and dip your right hip to the floor. Take a look at your rear wall with the left hand. Inhale, press down with your 3 limbs and rise up. Lift the right hip, sweep the left arm overhead towards your front wall. Here's our flow. Inhale here. Exhale, dip the right hip and look towards the rear wall. Inhale, root down to rise up. Sweep the arm towards the front wall. Exhale, dip and look back. Inhale, rise and reach forward. 2 more rounds. Inhale, lower. Excuse me, that's an exhale. Take a breath in to lift up. 1 more round. Exhale to lower. And inhale to lift. Plant the left hand at the top of your mat. This time, walk up to the front of your mat, entering a forward fold. Let your feet touch. Bend your knees to touch. Full on chair pose. Join your hands at your heart center here. Turn out your right thigh at the hip and flex the right foot as you cross the ankle over your left thigh like a figure 4. Splay the right thigh open. Sink your hips further back, bending your left knee to stack over your left heel. Draw your navel in towards your spine and broaden your heart space as you relax the shoulders down. Taking a few more breaths, you might raise your arms, you might place them on the floor or on blocks in front of you. There is an option to enter flying pigeon pose, which is a arm balance, where you set the hands flat on the floor, 1 foot in front of your left foot, and wrap the top of your right flex foot outside your left upper arm. By looking forward about 3 feet ahead of your fingertips on the ground, shift your weight forward to press your right shin across your two upper arms and lift, rooting to rise. Maybe the left leg extends back with a foot flexed. Whatever variation you're exploring, how are you expanding the boundaries of your beliefs? For a long time, I thought I could never practice any arm balance. I would just laugh when a teacher would start to instruct it. So let's come back to that figure four shaped chair pose. Step the right foot next to the left. Stand tall, arms by your sides. Take a few full body breaths. Sense the energy of your presence right now. Slowing your breath down, start with your breath to create a feeling of balance. Then bend your knees together, feet together. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Join your hands at your heart and turn out your left thigh. Flex your left foot and cross the ankle over your right thigh, splaying the left thigh open. Sink your hips back and down to your degree as you draw navel in and up. Explore how you play with your arms, and that's key, the attitude of play, right? If you're coming into the arm balance, set your hands flat, 1 foot ahead of your right toes, and wrap the top of your left foot around your right outer upper arm. Set your gaze way ahead on the floor to help you pull your weight forward in order to stack the left shin and spring your weight off of your two upper arms as they're in Chaturanga. Lifting the navel, create a sense of buoyancy as you root down to rise up. Check in with your breathing. Notice if there are any stories playing in your mind right now. Start to make your way back to that figure four shape of chair pose. Then rise all the way up to mountain pose. Take a few breaths, tune inward. Notice what you notice. And before we enter our yin portion, I like to do a little waterfall cleanse, as I call it, with the breath. So step your feet apart, hips distance parallel. Keep your knees at least loosely bent. And as you take a deep inhale, imagine you're gathering up anything that you're ready to declutter in any area of your life, even energy-wise. And then as you exhale, you just, like a dragon, release it. Forward fold. Inhale, gather, lift, and any sound, let it go. 3 more on your own. And we'll meet in a forward fold, bending the knees generously, catching hold of opposite elbows, maybe shaking the skull a bit, maybe rocking the torso side to side, taking a few long exhales through your mouth. Notice what you feel here now. Start to lower your pelvis onto the floor to sit and straddle your legs wide apart to your capacity. And it might be helpful to take your folded blanket or a pillow and sit towards the front edge of it. That can help if you're feeling like the back is starting to round here or the shoulders are starting to round. It can give you a little uplift, especially if you're sitting towards the front edge of it. Cup with your hands the very tops of your thighs and roll them back so your two sitting bones anchor more firmly downward, like you're on the tiptoes of your sitting bones. Point your knees and toes up. Flex your feet for a moment and feel the front of your thighs lightly activate. Keep that light activation there. And then you can decide, because we're going to start to fold forward, if you'd like a prop in front of you, like a stack of pillows, a block for each hand, an incline with a block at the furthest end underneath the pillow. And you could start with a lot of props, and maybe after 3 minutes of being here, which is what I'll set the timer for, or within that 3 minutes, you start to let go of some of the props if you feel like your body's opening up. Start here, take a deep breath, feel the chest broad as you roll the shoulders back and down, keep the throat open, and try to maintain as much of the length of your spine as you can while exhaling to bow forward. You might like to have a folded face towel or some other prop to land your forehead on. Now tune into your breathing. We've come from continuous movement and balance play to stillness. Notice how your breath is flowing now. 3 minutes has just started. As you regulate a state of balance, a rhythm in your breath, use it as an auditory anchor for your attention to be present here with your body. Presence is key to the practice of yoga. Union of body, awareness, breath. Calm, mindful breathing. Few last breaths here. Now let your transition carry a feeling of stillness in it, a feeling of mindfulness to it. So not transitioning so quickly, but bringing that even breathing as if each part of your movements were part of a Vinyasa flow. Inhale, exhale, coming out by bringing your hands to your outer thighs, lifting your bent knees and bringing the legs close together. Let's make our way down onto our bellies, lying face down with the legs straight back. Have a block at the top of your mat. Then slide your right arm out to the right side so your wrist is in line with your right shoulder. Place your block just to the right side of your skull. Then plant your left hand on the floor beside your left shoulder. Beginning to press the floor away with your left hand, roll over gently onto your right hip, starting to stack your 2 feet. Set the right side of your head on the block, and then pause a moment to scoot your right shoulder blade further down your back ribs. Now feel into the sensations here. They're always setting the parameters so we're not going towards pain, but finding your edge in which you can still breathe deeply and calmly, yet feel opening the body. You might venture into stepping the left foot behind you. You might wrap the left arm behind you. Perhaps it meets the right hand, or maybe not. So experiment with what your right shoulder needs right now. Might be different from the last time you may have practiced this pose. And let's take another 10 deep breaths here. When you're ready, take your time to slowly roll onto your belly, making a gradual transition as you place the block on the left side of your skull. And slide the left arm straight out to the left, palm face down and in line with your left shoulder. Then place the right hand on the floor beside your right shoulder and begin to press the ground away with it, slowly rolling over onto your left hip, stacking both feet, perhaps. If you lean the left side of your head on the block, slide your left shoulder away from your neck, down your back, and then see what's available, what's possible without strain. Maybe you step the right foot behind you, maybe you don't. You might explore wrapping the right arm back or not. And let's take another 10 full breaths here. Count your breaths, as the mind often needs a task so that it can be here now. Take your time at your own rate. When you finish 10 counts of breaths, begin to roll slowly onto your belly, entering Sphinx pose for a few breaths. In Sphinx pose, land your forearms in front of you as you lift your chest off the ground. placing your elbows right beneath your shoulders. With legs close together, spread your toes and ground through the tops of your feet. Releasing the fronts of your shoulders behind the ears, pressing your shoulder blades down. Breathe wide and deep across your heart space. Lengthen the back of your neck by gazing on the ground just ahead of your thumbs. And let's listen to 5 more breaths here. Slide your hands back alongside your floating ribs. Then slide your pelvis back onto your feet, entering Balasana, Child's Pose, for another 5 breaths. With feet touching, have your knees together or apart, and place your arms wherever it gives you a sense of ease as you listen to your breath. You might even like to place your forehead on a prop. When our minds are constricted by any kind of limiting beliefs or thoughts, our bodies can follow suit. We can often find the pattern of constriction in our own physical beings, remembering that these dimensions or layers of self called koshas intertwine. They affect each other. And so we use this practice to release any holding in the body as we help the mind to become more flexible too, just like our breathing becomes more expansive. Placing your hands on the ground, begin to roll your spine slowly upright as you inhale. Reach for your strap and place it just beside the rear edge of your mat, and reach for a block. If you have 2 blocks, bring them there too. All within reachable distance as you lie on your back. And then coming down to your back, step your feet on the ground about hips width apart, parallel to each other, knees bent up. And as you press your feet into the floor, take one of your blocks and by the lowest height, slide it across your lower back, beneath your sacrum, right under the flat part of your lower back. Feel into where you've set it and make sure it feels symmetrical on the left and right sides, and comfortable and stable. Now, you might opt to either stack a second block underneath or to tilt that first block onto a higher height like the medium. But before you do that, let's come into the posture so you'll see how it feels and then decide. So keep your left foot on the ground, bend your right knee into your chest. Use both hands to hold your right shin or your right thigh. Begin to extend the left leg forward to your degree, not turning out the leg, but pointing the left knee straight up towards the sky by spiraling the inner thigh towards the floor. Notice how this feels. Now you can decide if you want to tilt that block underneath to the next level height or to stack 2 blocks under. And then return to that pose, Apanasana, wind relieving pose. Now it can help to flex your left foot towards the shin in order to not turn out the left leg, spinning the inner left thigh towards the floor. And then from here, you could continue drawing the right thigh closer to your belly, which brings a stretch into the left hip flexor, top of the left thigh. Or If your right quadricep is willing and your right knee is free of injury, you can slide your right hand down to the top of your right foot and begin to point the right toes towards your right glute, setting the top of the right foot on the floor so that right leg is in supine hero's pose, Supta Virasana. Now this can be a lot on the lower back, so if you've got stuff going on in your lower back, you might stay hugging the right thigh towards your belly. But if you are in this one-legged version of Supta Virasana, close your knees towards each other. Try not to splay out the legs. Spiral both inner thighs towards the floor. Press all of your right toenails into the ground so your right foot lands just to the right side of your right hip and your knees are no wider than hips distance. Now, you might bring the arms overhead and catch hold of opposite elbows. Let's take another 5 slow breaths here. If you're in that one-legged Supta Virasana, visualize your tailbone reaching forward towards your inner left knee as you keep spiraling your inner left thigh towards the ground. 3 more breaths. Notice where tension may arise. Can you bring your awareness there to help relax? Now be gentle with your transition out of this pose. If you're in that one-legged Supta Virasana, you might use your right hand to lift your right foot and step the right foot on the floor, step the left foot on the floor, and come into a supported bridge pose, pausing for 3 breaths. Know that we can hold different patterns on the left and right sides of the body. So you might start with the lowest height of the block under your sacrum again as we enter side 2 and explore what's possible. Then bend your left knee into your chest. Slide your right leg forward, flexing the foot towards your shin. Your right knee pointing straight up as you spiral the inner thigh towards the ground. Notice what this feels and how your body's guiding you to the variation it needs. You might stay here, you might tilt the block onto the next level height or stack 2 blocks. You might stay in Apanasana, or you might start to place your left hand down onto the top of your left foot as you point the toes and begin to point the left knee towards the front of your mat, landing the top of your left foot on the floor just to the outside of your left hip. Keeping your knees no wider apart than hips distance apart. One-legged Supta Virasana. Whatever variation you're in, continue with mindful breathing and tuning in to what sensations come and go. If you're in one-legged Supta Virasana, visualize your tailbone reaching forward towards your inner right knee. You might raise your arms overhead and switch and hold the elbow on the top. Take another 5 breaths here. And when you're ready, you're in the one-legged Supta Virasana. You might place your left hand on the top of your left foot, helping to slide the sole of the left foot onto the floor. Then the right foot onto the floor, both knees bent. And once there, pause for 3 breaths again in supported bridge. Lifting your pelvis, remove any blocks from underneath and gently lower your spine to the floor. Bend your right knee into your chest again, and step the ball of your right foot into the strap. As you extend your right leg upright, hold the strap only in your left hand. Preparing for a spinal twist, slide the left leg forward on the ground. You might scoot your hips another 4 inches towards the right edge of your mat. Slide your right arm out to the right side and keep that shoulder on the floor as you begin to cross your right leg over to your left. Spinal twist. 5 breaths here. As you're twisting, draw your right outer hip forward. That's away from your torso and towards the front edge of your mat to create traction and help release tension in your lower spine. As you're ready, slowly roll onto your back, lifting your right leg up. Remove the foot from the strap. Bend your left knee into your chest. Center your pelvis on your mat. And step the ball of your left foot into the strap. Extending your left leg upright, hold the strap in your right hand. Slide your left arm out to the left side. Keeping your left shoulder on the ground, slide your right leg forward on the ground. You might slide your pelvis too another 4 inches towards the left edge of your mat. Then begin to twist slowly to your right for 5 breaths. Then again, draw your left outer hip forward, away from your torso, towards the front edge of your mat, to invite space into your lower back. And when you're ready, slowly lift the left leg, bend the knee, remove the strap. Bend both knees into your chest. Maybe do a little rocking and rolling to massage your back on the floor if you like. Maybe splay the thighs and happy baby if you like. Then draw your bent knees together. Maybe lift the head and shoulders, squeeze in for a thank you hug to yourself. Then begin to place your body into your corpse pose of choice, using any props or no props as you need. You might turn your palms to face up, slide the shoulder blades down your back, wiggle out the legs until they can relax in stillness. Maybe turn the head and find a neutral curvature in your neck. And as you close your eyes here, I'll invite you into a few rounds of Samavriti Pranayama, box breathing, which helps to ground, relax the nervous system before we completely release control of the breath. So get situated in stillness, a comfortable position. Close your eyes, close the lips, and just breathing through your nose, empty this breath. Then inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it in for 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 3, 2, 1. Hold it out for 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, one, and surrender all efforts in your breathing. Trust its natural flow. And with each natural exhalation, allow your body to sink deeper and deeper into a state of relaxation as you stay awake in full presence. Shavasana. What feels alive in you right now as you lie still here? Is there anything calling your attention? And start to move easily, softly, waking up your body in your own way. You might give yourself another hug. You might roll softly to the right side. And as you're ready, begin to lift your body up into a comfortable seat for our 10 minutes of guided meditation. Now, this meditation comes from a book called Wise Mind, Open Mind, as we talk about innovation and expanding our own mental boundaries. And it's written by my teacher, Dr. Ronald Alexander, who led a training on mindfulness and creativity in leadership. So this is about identifying, accepting, and dissolving your own resistance. Whenever change is in the atmosphere, often we can encounter resistance, right? As we're creatures of habit, we like to keep going in the same momentum that we've been doing. But innovation requires the ability to be resilient, and to be with change and to be able to adapt. So as you sit tall, find a position in which you can feel grounded, alert, and relaxed. Some gestures or mudras. Choose one that helps cultivate the feeling tone that you want to focus on. So a neutral feeling tone is palms face up, stacked the center of your lap, thumb tips touching. A focusing feeling tone is thumb and index fingers to touch, palms face down, grounding, palms face up, energizing. A mudra I use in the mornings and is related to creating the feeling tone of purpose, as well as aligning to your own soul purpose and cultivating the qualities that Lakshmi, the goddess or the archetype, stands for: abundance, prosperity, success. And that's like making cross fingers with the index and middle, and then bringing the ring and the thumb tips to touch. The pinky fingers just stick out, and then the palms rest face up on your lap. There's so many mudras. So choose what resonates with you or not at all, and either close your eyes or steady a soft gaze ahead. Relax your shoulders, sitting tall, and let's begin sensing your natural breath. Begin by placing your awareness in a location on your body in which you can sense your natural breath. And know that you can return to this spot anytime you find your attention wanders off elsewhere. You can use this spot, this sensation, as your anchor. So we begin with some self-inquiry. Dr. Alexander asks, when we encounter our own inner resistance to change or expansion, one thing you can ask yourself is, why are you afraid to move forward toward whatever you say you want in life? What are your fears? No need to contrive an answer, just having space to allow anything that may want to come up. Maybe it doesn't come up now during meditation. Maybe the bell rings later on as you're cooking dinner. Just planting these seeds in the unconscious mind. A second question, are you afraid of any of the following common areas of resistance? 1, the unknown, having a new experience of life. And just notice how your body might react or respond. 2, being perceived as too different or even strange. 3, failing, suffering disappointment, or losing something of value. 4, achieving success, increasing your visibility, financial status, or prestige. And 5, feeling guilty because you've disappointed people who care about you, believe in you, or have invested in you. Dr. Alexander says, often resistance creates sensations or feelings within the body that need to be discovered and dissolved. The following meditation is called sweeping body meditation, and it's an excellent tool for ridding yourself of those physical manifestations of resistance. So continue to sit comfortably. Bring your attention from your breath to the top of your head. Focus your awareness on what you're experiencing. Try to locate 3 sensations or feelings within your body. Allow yourself to become aware of them. Identify the quality of each of these 3 sensations. Do you feel a hot or cold sensation? One that's throbbing or sharp, rigid, or fluid? As you breathe in, imagine that the air you inhale is infusing that area of your body, cleansing and healing it. As you exhale, breathe out the quality of that sensation. So if you have a burning pain in your shoulder, breathe in, imagining a coolness entering your shoulder. And breathe out, feeling the burning sensation flowing out of you. Feel your abdomen expanding and contracting as you move air in through your nostrils, into your lungs, and into the area of your body you're focusing on. And then out of your body, carrying with it the sensation you hope to heal. See the healing air coming in and the negative quality being swept out of you as you inhale and exhale. Continue for as long as you feel is necessary. You might also want to envision a very warm, healing hand entering into your body where you're experiencing discomfort and touching all the particles of pain, gathering them up as you inhale and scattering them outside of you as you exhale. Another option is to visualize your body as similar to that of an infant who has just come out of the bath and is wet. As you breathe in and out, visualize a soft, fluffy towel patting your head, face, neck, shoulders, and so on down to your toes and fingers. Let the towel absorb all the unpleasant sensations in your physical body until you experience a state of emptiness and freedom and no longer feel any particular sensation or emotion. The core tenet of Buddhism is that suffering is impermanent. As you get in touch with your fear and resistance and accept it. Be aware that this suffering will pass away. You'll start to remedy any uncomfortable feelings, beliefs, and sensations by embracing positive ones that will propel you through the process of change. Start to feel your body on the outside. Feel with what objects your body is in contact with. Sense the air around your body. Feel any vibrations or sounds around you. Easing out of your head space, begin to join your palms together at your hearts. Bowing your head to your heart as you honor your inner teacher, your inner compass. Through whatever change we might be navigating through in any areas of our lives. Remember, you have these tools that you've showed up to practice. Practice them off the mat and let them be that more accessible for you when you really need them. Let's close this practice, joining in one Om. Take a deep breath. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.